2022 New Holland Canadian Junior Men's and Women's Curling Championships here in Stratford, Ontario. We are coming to you live from the Stratford Rotary Complex for the women's semi-final game. My name is Danielle Inglis, and I am joined in the booth today by Sean Turriff, who is the mentor coach here at the New Holland Canadian Juniors on behalf of Curling Canada. Good morning, Sean.
Good morning, Danielle. How are you this morning?
I'm fantastic. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you.
And we've got our feature matchup here. It's looking familiar. Last time Sean and I were in the booth, we were watching this very same game, Team Alberta taking on Team Nova Scotia. In their last round robin game, it was Team Nova Scotia with the win, but it might be a different story this morning, as both teams have made it through to the semifinal. And Team Nova Scotia getting here by virtue of their 8-0 record and getting a bye straight to the semifinal. Team Alberta taking a slightly longer route, going through the first qualification game, but they had a big 11-4 win over Team New Brunswick last night, and that has propelled them into the semifinals. So we mentioned we did see this game yesterday morning, Sean, and your thoughts on what the semifinal will look like?
Well, everything, all the pressure's just that much higher today. I think it's going to be a close game for sure. These teams played well through the round robin. They got here because they were among the top of the field, and so I expect there'll be lots of great shot making. It'll be tight all the way. I just think it's going to be a long, tightly fought game.
And the first time we saw these two teams, they're keeping it simple and straightforward, putting the first rock in, and now the guard was called, fortunately hogged. But Team Alberta with a slightly different approach right off the bat. It will be lead Kate Fitzgerald being asked to throw it over to the side 12. Kate is a respiratory therapy student at Dalhousie University. She also played lead for Nova Scotia at the World Junior Qualifier back in November. Has won bronze as the lead at the 2020 Canadian Juniors, and has also had several trips to the Canadian Under-18s.
So Alberta looking to maybe junk it up early with the attempt at the guard. Nova Scotia saying, no, I think not. Maybe we'll just play in the rings and keep it simple.
Means lead Kate Ector is being asked to play a hit. She is a psychology student at the University of Calgary. And a nicely executed shot on the nose.
And Nova Scotia gets last rock in the first end by virtue of their finish in the pool play. It's a little bit complicated as to how it's determined, the last rock. In the playoffs, if you are playing a team that's within your pool, then it's all about the record. And if you're not playing a team that's in your pool, and this is the only actual game where the two teams were in the same pool in the round robin play, then if you're not playing in the pool, then it's a draw to the button. So these two teams did not have to throw a draw to the button. The other three sheets did have to throw a draw to the button.
And another nicely executed nose hit. Coming up on second stones for Team Alberta, Raylan Helston celebrated her birthday yesterday. She's a grade 12 student at EP Scarlett High School. We also have 3 other sheets on the ice for you today, and we'll give you a few updates throughout the game. On the men's side, we've got Alberta taking on Manitoba, and Ontario versus Saskatchewan. The other women's game is the Battle of Ontario versus Northern Ontario. And if you want to keep track of the line scores, please visit curling.ca/scoreboard. Throwing second stones for Team Nova Scotia is Alison Umla. She's a nutritional science student at Mount St. Vincent University, and she played second for Nova Scotia at the World Junior Qualifier in November.
Nova Scotia looking to split the house here after a flash there by Alberta. This one's slipping a little deep though. If it doesn't stick around, we may be back to our clean end.
What was the split on that here?
That inside out, always got to remember when you're throwing it, it's pretty speedy, so you got to take a few feet off of what you think that draw weight's going to be.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Just going to introduce Kaylee Ranseth, education student at Red Deer Polytechnic.
Sorry, Danielle. I was going to say because these two teams didn't have to throw a draw to the button, their pregame practice looked a little bit different. Typically, the pregame practice, the 9-minute practice they get, is all about finding the path to the button. They may throw some to look at some spots on the ice, but typically it's all about finding the path to the button so they can win the last stone draw. Today, the ladies were doing a lot more experimentation around paths because they didn't have to throw that. Both teams were. So.
Nice throw, Allison.
And that was actually Raylan's second rock, so we have Kaylee Ranseth is about to throw her first rock. She throws third stones for Team Alberta.
Yeah, you got it.
And again, education student, Red Deer Polytechnic. And this is a big scrub to make it curl. It looks like it'll be just off the rings, which is an interesting opportunity for Team Nova Scotia. And you can see she calling for the draw around what is essentially a corner guard now. So this is the first third stone. Throwing third for Team Nova Scotia is Lauren Ferguson. She's a mechanical engineering student at Dalhousie University. She played in the 2018 Canadian Mixed Doubles, played third for Nova Scotia at the World Junior Qualifier, has also skipped PEI at the 2019 and 2020 Canadian Juniors. Very accomplished player as well in her early career under 18s.
Okay, Lauren.
And again, getting caught up in that inside-out speedy path.
Yeah, both teams getting a little fooled here by weight and line early, but I'm sure their success through the week has shown that they can adjust and read this ice well. So maybe a little bit of nerves. They're 2 games away from a Canadian championship, so they may be feeling that early in the game.
So this is our Vice's Kaylee's second rock. She's being asked to also try around the corner.
Just stop. Stop it. Yep. Line. Line's really nice. Yep. Whoa. Sit. D-line. Sit. Nice, Kaylee. Really good.
And it will stick around about 3/4 buried.
Alberta doesn't love playing to the corner here because they don't have last rock, but what they're really trying to do is set something up that Nova Scotia can't remove, with the idea that hopefully what that'll do is force Nova Scotia to have to take one.
No. Back 4. No. Sterling now. It's all you.
This rock has a little ways to go
Go right to it. Don't want to.
in order to curl up to come to the face of the rock. And there it goes. And well managed.
Like we saw yesterday, Danielle, I think one of the big things is for these teams to trust the ice and trust that it's going to break late. It will break late. They just have to believe it.
Yeah, really, we've seen those teams that are successful pick up on it just like that. Really good point.
That's what I'm here for.
So we have Team Alberta playing a run back, a short run back, few feet. Will be skip of Team Alberta, Claire Booth. She is a kinesiology student at the University of Calgary. This rock is hanging out.
Okay, that's okay. All right. Okay.
And they'll just peel out the guard. We had seen some rocks curl there earlier, which is why I suspect she brought up her weight, but brought it up to the point where it took the curl out of it.
Yeah, that curl's going to be really dependent on the weight you do throw. We have seen down the edges, if you do get the weight up a little bit, it delays the break point to a point outside the house, so it won't break until it gets past the back line, which doesn't help you.
Big opportunity for Nova Scotia to split the house. Skip Taylor Stevens, who's a Bachelor of Commerce student at St. Mary's University. She skipped Nova Scotia at the World Junior Qualifier. Also won bronze as a skip at the 2020 Canadian Juniors. Played third at the 2019 Canadian Under-18s. And was also a bronze medalist at the 2019 Canada Winter Games.
I liked it.
Taylor and her team have done a good job of managing their games so far. They're a patient team. They don't panic. They don't seem to take unnecessary risks, and you know, it's paid off in a perfect record so far this week.
And it looks like they found that draw weight inside out and a perfectly placed shot. Couldn't have really walked that down any better.
Rolling big doesn't do anything. Okay. We just roll this. I don't know.
My all-time favorite quote there is, "You couldn't have put it better if you dropped it from the ceiling."
I like that one. That's the first time I've ever heard it.
I think that was Don Do Good. I think I heard them use that one. Couldn't have put it better if you dropped her from the ceiling. Never understood it, but I thought it was great.
So this is Team Alberta's last rock here in end one. And they're just going to play a straight hit on this rock. There's no double available. Tricky little spot here. We've seen all week that this will curl up. Gotta be really mindful of that as they throw and brush. And they'll make the hit, and it'll roll just too far. Suspect that's more weight than we've been seeing them throw in their last game on the sheet. They're aware of that side and how it was moving for them. I think we saw a flash or two on the inside, so up the weight and took some curl out of it. So this will be an open draw for Team Nova Scotia for their deuce. They're taking the exact same path that they just took. Taylor Stevens needing a piece of the 8-foot for the deuce.
You gotta go.
Pressure's on this right out of her hand pretty much.
Hard, Kate! Hard, Kate! You got it! Right to it, right.
Time looks pretty good. I think Taylor will be fine. I think the girls maybe just got a little excited on that one.
And they will clean it in for a score of 2 in Nova Scotia with a 2-0 lead after the first end. And we'll be back with you in just a few moments.
When the cab is your office, you'll never get tired of going to work. Spring, summer, fall. Season after season, New Holland offers the solutions and connected technology that you need. From seeding and spraying to the world's leading twin-rotor combine, New Holland has you covered from emergence to harvest. Visit your local New Holland dealer to learn more about how New Holland helps you get it done.
Welcome back to the 2022 New Holland Canadian Junior Men's and Women's Curling Championships. We are in the semifinals with our feature game, Team Nova Scotia 2-0, a 2-0 lead over Team Alberta. We also have our other semifinals on the ice. The other women's game, we have Northern Ontario with pop to deuce in the first end over Team Ontario. Over on the men's side, both games, Ontario and Saskatchewan, Alberta and Manitoba, both blanked the first end. As a reminder, you can find those scores at curling.ca/scoreboard.
Good throw, good sweep. That's good, that's good, that's good.
So we saw in the first end that Alberta was trying to generate some offense by throwing a center line guard, came up short, changed the face of the end. Sean, what do you expect for this second end?
Well, I was curious to see Alberta go at them right away. I think they have to be careful. This Nova Scotia team, you know, they're not going to make a lot of mistakes, and so anytime you play with an increased amount of risk, and when you're trying to steal, it's always a little bit risky. It can come back to burn you. So I think Alberta just needs to be careful and keep their wits about them. They're a good team. They can make all the shots too. They just have to play to the situation here a little bit.
I am a little surprised to see them hitting the rock in the top 8 based on how they were trying to go a little bit more offensively in the first end. It really poses a problem.
No, and that may be an indication that they aren't really willing to go after it this time for whatever reason. I mean, I tend to be more of an aggressive player myself, so I don't want to impose that on any other team, but I would have thrown the corner guard there.
Gotta go! Hard for nose, hard, you got it! Keep going, keep going.
This rock is moving, and they'll get a good chunk and stick around.
With 10 ends, there's lots and lots and lots of time to get the job done. And 2 points in the first end is pretty standard. It's something you can manage easily. 9 more ends to play, so maybe that's what they're thinking.
A nose hit being called, played by Team Alberta. And this is looking good.
Bigger crowd this morning than we've seen. It's kind of what we'd expect, I think. Very loud in here. We were here while I was sitting in the crowd last night, Danielle, with for the quarterfinals there, the first qualifying game, and it was, I don't know how to describe it, insanely loud. I don't know. It was teeth-rattlingly loud, and it was amazing. Like, it was fantastic. 4 sheets going on, and groups cheering every sheet, and so it's almost a constant noise out there. So it's a great atmosphere, especially coming out of a period of time when these kids didn't get to play. So fantastic.
I was saying last night, I don't think there are any noisemakers left in any of the dollar stores in Stratford because they're all here. And on the sheet of ice, you saw Nova Scotia with an overcurl on the hit attempt, only managed to tick it. So this is a big opportunity for Team Alberta to put a second one in the ring, split the rings.
And it's possible, though improbable, that might have been Alberta's thought, that maybe we just play it nice and clean and wait for a break in an end, or in this end. Improbable, though, because I think teams at these levels don't count on their opponents to miss, really. But maybe they were playing it clean with the option.
Maybe too, after the first end, a couple misses, they just wanted to get the shakes out. I mean, there's added pressure being in a semifinal.
Oh, for sure. I was thinking about this morning as we were getting ready to come on the air, and I was, you look out across this ice pad. There's 4 games going on. There are 2 Canadian champions out there somewhere, and any one of these teams out there could be Canadian
See,
champs.
that's
In
fine,
fact,
that's
two
fine,
of them
that's
will
fine.
be at the end of the day.
That's
So
okay, Allison.
that's got to be playing on their minds a little bit. Any chance they get then to calm the nerves and get back into a groove, they'll probably take that chance.
Yeah, really similar is good. Yeah.
Team Alberta playing a draw out to the other side. Looking to tuck a piece behind the yellow rock in the top 12.
Trusty stopwatch got a 16-3 on that, which has been all week normally close to the right weight, and I think that would have been fine a little close to the center line. Well, definitely would have been fine a little close to the center line, but getting that far out just didn't quite catch rings.
And that's how quickly the end can change around here. Nova Scotia is now hitting to lie potentially 2.
Whoa! Clean! Yeah! Yeah, Kate!
Really want to stick around here, otherwise Alberta can make a play and flip the end again.
And there we have it.
Okay, yeah, you got it, Keely. Yeah, nice release.
Big scrub, trying to help it curl. We'll get a piece, but they will roll out. Oh, and
No,
they
they
got a
won't.
bit of a roll back in, but it will be Nova Scotia sitting shot rock.
Yeah, and as long as that rock's in at all, second shot, they're going to take that out. Hopefully get a flop in again. They kind of want to make sure that their shooter here rolls in so that they can keep the pressure on to Alberta.
Whoa, we're big, big, 9-5. Clean. Oh, curl. Gotta go, Kate. Okay, you're just feeling it.
So they chose to hit it. They could have also thrown that draw and see the rollout.
I got it.
Really had a back and forth end here, Sean.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm interested. It's interesting that she chose that much weight on that shot. I mean, there was quite a bit of curl, but she could have played a little less weight there just to ensure that the shooter stuck around.
So Team Alberta playing the hit on the red on the top, hoping to spill their second one in to sit 2.
Yeah, I think if she just gets about half the rock on the inside, on the center line side, she should get rid of that yellow one and sit 2. Just like that. I think she wanted to hit a little less of that red one, just to separate them a little bit and hopefully not set up the double, but still a good shot. Always the jam possibility here. That top red rock really has to clear the whole pretty much 12 feet of rings to get out. So yeah, that's why Nova Scotia is choosing to throw peel here to make sure that if she contacts that rock, it's gonna go.
I think that I should be close for peel. It's a hair negative. We might be able to back it up a bit if we need to.
Really good comment there, especially throwing that weight. We saw going the other way, and you mentioned, Sean, how in the outside rings, if you up that weight, it really will run straight, and bringing your brushers into any shot is always a good idea. Nothing worse as a sweeper than just brooms off and pray. And just as they drew it up, double roll on. Beautiful shot.
Yeah, great shot by Taylor. Great weight. She really needed to throw that weight. And if you watch the way the red rock spills off that, doesn't have a ton of energy coming off of that. So she needed that kind of weight to make sure that that top rock spilled out. Good job.
Claire Booth with her first rock here in end number 2. The fun fact we shared on last broadcast is Claire is Jocelyn Peterman's niece. She really upped her weight there. They're holding their breaths, and that will be sticking around in the 12-foot.
I'm 5. Just edge.
Yep, holding the shooter there was pretty key. Good job. Moved the target around. I know Taylor just threw it down this path, but moving those rocks around is good.
Yeah.
Probably would have liked to have flopped the other way just to change the view, but
Or do you like a hair more?
sticking the shooter was job one.
Okay, there.
I think Taylor will want to try and stick around here just to force Alberta to make a hit and roll out.
Last rock for Team Nova Scotia in N2.
Queen, whoa, 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 whoa. Kate. Whoa, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine. Okay, good.
And they will stick around. So it'll be a blank attempt for Team Alberta.
Well, I think this is kind of the way Claire had drawn it up in her mind before she started the end. She threw that first one in, probably with the intention of just getting through an end.
Yeah, I'll throw the flame. Okay, you got it, Claire.
Good positive reinforcement from the front end. Team Alberta looking for the blank in N2. Like to take the hammer into the third end. And they will do that. So score is still 2-0 for Team Nova Scotia over Team Alberta after 2, and we'll be back with you in just a few moments.
This is where the focus comes into play. Look at that. Canada, say hello to your new champions.
Proudly pulling for this generation of Canadians and the next for over 40 years at the Scotties Tournament of Hearts.
Welcome back to the 2022 New Holland Canadian Junior Women's Curling Championship semifinal. Team Nova Scotia, Team Alberta on the live stream today. My name is Danielle Inglis. I'm joined in the booth by Sean Turriff. We've got 3 other semifinals on the ice this morning.
Back 8. No one needs to sit.
Quick update for you in the Manitoba-Alberta game. Team Manitoba now has a 1-0 lead over Team Alberta. Again, Ontario and Saskatchewan. It looks like Ontario just picked up 2, a steal of 2, as this Saskatchewan draw came up short. And in Northern Ontario game on the women's side, Northern Ontario with a 2-0 lead. Team Ontario cleaning in their hit, and they'll be forced to the single. So 2-1 for Team Northern Ontario over Ontario. So now we're seeing Bit more offense from Team Alberta with the corner guard.
The first Nova Scotia stone a little bit deep there. And so Claire deciding, you know what, time to go for it. Throwing up a nice corner. That's a pretty well placed corner. We talked a lot on the stream yesterday about the depth of the guards and how critical it is because of the amount of curl on the ice. That one's pretty good. You can get something sort of top 12, top 8 that can't be removed around that guard. The problem, if it's a problem, is that because of the amount of swing on the ice, if the rock is too high, you can almost take anything out around it. And if it's so, you need to make sure you've got about, I don't know, 6 or 8 feet or so. That's about the extent of a guard's effectiveness.
That looks hard. It's there. Okay. Yeah, they're almost even. Okay.
So what they're talking about here is because of where that yellow guard, who was a little bit higher, they were just concerned about how the alignment was of those two guards and if they could get behind. And it is possible, perhaps a little bit tighter or visually not as appealing, but it is there.
It's a deceptively large hole. It's large, but again, not to harp on the same subject, but because of the amount of curl, it's going to swing its way through that hole. And that hole is not nearly as big as it looks. It's going to have to come close to the yellow guard as as the weight comes off here, and then it's going to swing across and get close to that red guard. So well managed shot by Alberta. Great weight and great brushing. That was just a superb team shot.
Beautiful.
Seem to have dialed the weight in. I got my handy watch here on the hog to hog, and I got a 16.2 on that.
This is some speedy ice. And kudos to Don Powell and his ice crew for being absolute magicians this week with dealing with every single element thrown their way. Stratford has gone through all 4 seasons and back again. We've got snow on the ground this morning.
Yeah, and we haven't really seen an impact on the ice as all that changing. Yesterday we had a windstorm. We're here in the booth. We thought we might get, pulled into the land of Oz, and but the ice wasn't affected at all.
Okay, you got it, Raylan.
Team Alberta calling for the double peel.
Oh, this is a peach.
And they'll get the one in the house, too, for good measure.
What a well-thrown shot. Good call, good throw.
Let's have another look at that one. Wonderfully called and swept. Got not only both the guards, but also caught the one in the house.
Yeah, I even rolled the shooter out of the way. That was a phenomenal shot.
So Team Nova Scotia switching it up. They're playing the peel on the corner guard.
This one hanging a touch. Miraculously just sneaking around the guard on the outside and catching shot rock.
But that corner guard is still in play, so we'll see Team Alberta call for a draw right in behind. So picking up right out of the hand. This rock is diving towards the guard.
They can keep it going. They'll get it around. There's room, we're right in behind there, and there's room around the guard. Just as long as it doesn't poke at the other side now.
And it looks like it will be exposed about 3/4 to half.
Great weight. And the swoopers had to go to make sure they didn't wreck on the guard.
Nova Scotia now playing a hack to board weight hit.
Never, no. Like board. Queen. Yeah. Whoa. Curl. Hard. Get it.
And they'll come up to nose. Well managed shot.
We could try that. I think it's hard, but I can only see half. Jake, do you want to just throw that? Yeah. Just make sure you're back here.
So it's tough in this situation. Mentioned, so you heard from the hack, you can only see about half of it. The other option here that they're taking is the draw behind. Now, even if they make this pretty much perfectly, Nova Scotia should still have a short run back.
Mine's good. T1. Mine's really good. Come forward. Yep. Yeah, come forward. T1. Mine's really good. T1. T1. Yep. Back forward. Yeah, get out of yellow. Yes, hard. Back forward. Hard. Yep, hard.
Not the end of the world if she hooks it around behind that yellow one. That's not bad.
And that little rub actually worked for them. They were a bit heavy, so that allowed it to take some weight off of it.
Do you have any of that? Yeah, just good. Would you rather that? Or do you like the draw? I like the call. Okay.
And Nova Scotia is going to play the freeze straight down to the face of the Alberta stone.
Okay. Yeah, line then. Hard line.
This line is most definitely tighter. Sweepers are going to need to stay on this one.
You gotta go. Hard. Hard line. Hard. Whoa. Get a rub off of that. That's not bad, Lauren.
You do get a rub. Not shot stone, but their two yellows are in a good position.
Pretty dangerous stone there for Alberta. The short run there is right there.
So this is a big shot for Kaylee. Really needs to make sure that it is sitting, that they end up saying 2 by the end of this.
Yeah, and they really don't want to put it in a place where there's a double.
Top 12.
So the actual window of where they can put this stone is probably deceivingly small.
Hard for key line. Hard.
Top 12.
Hard. Gotta go for key line. Hard, guys.
The sweepers picked this up out of the hand, calling about top 12, but they could not drag it.
Yeah, that's a bit of an unforced error, a bit unfortunate. The line was looking really good. If they had carried that into second shot or shot, then my worry about the double was gone. That wouldn't have been a factor, I don't think.
I think we could probably throw like board. Yeah, board. It shouldn't. Yeah, I think we can hit like 3/4 of it. Definitely. You got it. Just board.
So there are two options here for Team Nova Scotia. They could tap back either of the rocks, electing to play.
I think that freeze is tough, so I like this better.
They're electing to play this path because they just saw it a few rocks ago, and they saw it with the weight that they need to throw about board.
Yeah, Lauren's went pretty hard.
This is that outside spot, though. They have to be really careful that they throw just the right weight. They overcook it a little bit, and it'll catch the high side and maybe bounce off their own yellow. They undercook it, and they will definitely get the curl and nose and possibly miss that red one. Not an easy shot, but Taylor's not 8-0 for nothing.
Board. Yep. Just board. Yep. Hold. Whoa.
This looks pretty close.
Curl.
beautiful shot.
I think that you talked earlier, Danielle, about being patient. That was a pretty patient call.
See, just at the end, calling for the curl on the sweep.
Trusting the ice there a little bit, knowing that with the right weight, as long as the weight was close, that it was going to catch the curl, and sure enough.
I could play the double, but I kind of like that. I think this is way easier than the double. The double was really hard.
Just that nice, like 15-8 weight, hey?
What?
Nice 15-8 weight?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, you got it, Claire. Yeah, you got her.
So this will be the second crack at this spot on the ice for Team Alberta. They need to sink this one around the guard, keep it in the top of the house, just biting top four.
Okay, go. Back four. Close. Tee back. Back eight. Tee back. Back eight, back 12. Keep it. Big roll, so we don't have any back. They don't have any backing.
And they are wide open.
I think so. You can even roll out and it's better than sticking there. Yeah, for sure.
Really good comment about the shot tolerance. Like to play the hidden roll, really to force Team Alberta into a tough shot.
To stick there, but I'd like to sit
And-
behind the guard.
And you can hear Taylor say there that you'd rather roll out and make her
Are you okay
throw
with this turn?
a tough draw again.
Let's make it.
Yeah, the whole concept of tolerance is pretty important. When we talk about tolerance, we're talking about missing well on the big TV games. They'll talk about pro miss versus amateur miss. As a coach, I tend to use the terminology tolerance.
9-5. Go big. Clean.
To Taylor wanting to obviously make her shot, but if she's going to miss,
Hard.
she wants to make sure she at least gets that red one out of there.
Straight. Whoa. Sit.
And it will sit. And actually, that overroll actually worked in their favor, because if they had stuck around right behind, you might have seen Team Alberta play about the same draw path that they had played and have some backing. Now, Team Alberta is playing the draw straight to the center.
I think 4 feet left, Claire.
Okay, just move this left. Okay, sounds good.
You got it. Really close. Top four.
Last rock, N3.
Back four.
Team Alberta needing a piece of the 4-foot for the single.
Claire looks pretty close. Giving it to her sweepers to finish off for her. Looks pretty good to me.
Okay, you go.
And that is a single point for Team Alberta. They will trail Nova Scotia 2-1 after 3 ends, and we will be back in just a moment.
When the cab is your office, you'll never get tired of going to work. Spring, summer, fall. Season after season, New Holland offers the solutions and connected technology that you need. From seeding and spraying to the world's leading twin-rotor combine, New Holland has you covered from emergence to harvest. Visit your local New Holland dealer to learn more about how New Holland helps you get it done.
Welcome back to the women's semifinal here at the 2022 New Holland Canadian Juniors. We've got Team Nova Scotia with a 2-1 lead and the hammer over Team Alberta going into end number 4. We also have 3 other semifinals on the ice. In the men's games, we have a tied game, very close on sheet A, Team Alberta, Team Manitoba. We also have another men's game on the ice, Team Ontario and Team Saskatchewan. Team Ontario with a deuce in N2 with a 2-0 lead over Team Saskatchewan. And we had a big steal of 3 for Team Ontario, and they'll have a 4-2 lead over Team Northern Ontario going into N4.
Roll then. No. We're close. Like top 8. Top 8's fine. Top 8's okay. Top 8's perfect. Yeah, we're top 8. A little bit. Yeah. Full 8.
Back on our feature sheet, saw Team Alberta throwing it a tight, intending it to be a center line guard, just a little off center. Team Nova Scotia with a beautiful come around. Team Alberta is going to ignore that and play the wide come around. Hey, this is curling early.
Yeah, a little tight.
Yeah, a little tight, and also it's a spot we've seen all week really move. So you either had to pick that up hard with the brushes off the bat, or give a little bit more ice.
Yeah, I think the weight was pretty good. The contact of that top red rock pushed it into the top 8, and I think if it had cleared the guard, it would have been somewhere around top 4.
Clean. No, just clean. Yep. Roll it.
You need to wait for that curl.
Nice.
And they did, so Nova Scotia will sit 2.
Good time here, guys. Okay, you got it, Raylan. Nice 10.
Team Alberta is playing the hit and roll off of the wide Nova Scotian rock. And the spot is moving early. And look at that roll. Right in behind the corner guard.
Not much better. Alberta could not have done much better there. The unfortunate thing is that yellow rock is right there for the short run. But that was a great shot by Alberta, and I'm not really sure what else they could have done that would have been better. Just sticking there would not have been better.
As for Team Nova Scotia really has control over the house right now. Hear a little bit more panic in Nova Scotia's voice this morning. I suspect it has something to do with the amount of noise out here.
Yeah, you never know. With 4 sheets going on, you never know when there's going to be an eruption of noise because you don't know what's happening on the other sheets. And at any given time, there may be a big loud cheer, and it may come right in the middle of one of your shots. And it's not a huge building, and so the sound really, really reverberates. Like I say, last night, I was in that crowd and really couldn't talk to the person sitting beside me. It was that loud. Again, fantastic. It's amazing, and I hope it stays loud. But it does present a challenge for the players because, like I say, it's just that unknown when it's going to happen kind of eruption from based on something that's not happening on your sheet.
Yeah, absolutely. Though, also talking to the players, they are loving this atmosphere.
Hi, Keely.
And that run will run right by. And you talk about what the players have to do is really map out the ice and recognize what it's going to do in any given spot. And that particular spot by the 4-foot and 8-foot line on the intern side coming home here has a tendency to run, and that's what we just saw. So Team Nova Scotia playing another draw, needs it to set.
Back line still.
Yeah, just splitting the house here. Hopefully, hopefully making it hard for Alberta to play a double and maybe getting their sneaky deuce.
Yeah, you can take it back a bit. Yeah. Good job. Okay.
So there is a double available here. It is a steep angle, but it is there.
A little set on her release, but we know it curls, so certainly didn't have a negative impact. In fact, it overcurled a little bit.
Yep. Gotta go, Kate.
So they had wanted to roll it out the other side, but great audible call by Nova Scotia, trying to roll it all the way the other one.
Bit of a tricky double here for Alberta because of that catcher that's outside the rings.
Yeah, right.
Have to be a little bit careful. Probably will throw a little bit more weight just in case it does touch that one off the rings. But yeah, this inside out path tends to go.
And that'll come up to nose.
Yep. Time again. Okay, time again. Go. Clean. Yes. 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 Allison. You gotta hold it. You gotta hold it.
Big scrub to hold this.
Big roll, big roll, big roll, big roll.
They will.
Hard, keep going. Go, 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 go,
And
go, go,
get
go,
a
go, go.
very big roll right across.
So again, Nova Scotia just looking to try not to set up a double. Pretty good effort there. It's a long double. Alberta's probably now will be just happy to kind of hit and roll over on top of that yellow one somewhere. If they get the double, that's great, but plan B would be just to roll over on top of it.
9 here? 9? Yeah. 6. Okay, you got it, Claire. All right, Claire. Straight to the room, nice release. Yeah. You got her.
Are we trying to get the double or just roll over?
Trying to get the double, but
Okay.
it's a little wide.
There you go.
You got it.
What am I even doing here? The girls know exactly what they're doing.
Well, honestly, it's been very impressive seeing both the junior men and women out here and the maturity that they have. It gives great confidence about the future of our sport.
Whoa! Really hard.
And this is hanging on them. They will make contact. Maybe a slight roll towards the outside.
Yeah, and to that point, Danielle, it's very self-serving, but I would say at least part of that is due to the coaching support they've received. So kudos to the coaches out there for giving them the confidence and the tools they need to perform at this level. I know the coaches put in hours and hours and hours.
Same that I'm throwing.
Pay is just atrocious, so we don't do it for the money. We absolutely do it for the love of the game.
Yeah. T-line's good.
And we're more than happy to do it.
It's the dedication from all of the coaches out here and across Canada is amazing. Don't think people realize sometimes how much goes on behind. The coaches aren't there getting the glory that the athletes are on the ice, but they're working just as hard behind the scenes. And much of their work is done before you even get here. So Nova Scotia with their first skip rock here in N4.
Looking to park it there somewhere over towards that red rock, so that if Alberta does choose to, if it's in a position where Alberta thinks they can remove it, it might jam.
And they will successfully bring it to the back. No double available for Team Alberta.
Yeah, Taylor had a couple of options there. She could have parked it a little higher and then maybe brought that jam into play, or putting it there, it's so flat. There's really no double. And in fact, I definitely prefer this because there's really no opportunity for Alberta to hit and roll on top of that shot. So really nice that they're so flat. Really nice for Nova Scotia that they're so flat.
Team Alberta, their last stone here in N4. Playing the hit, trying to minimize the damage here for Team Nova Scotia. Just need this rock to go away. And a beautiful shot, but it will be Team Nova Scotia with an open hit for the deuce. And it is an open hit, but a big moment for Team Nova Scotia. They could take a 4-1 lead after this end. Needs to make sure they stick around. Taylor Stevens with her last here in N4. And just clean it in. And that will be a deuce for Team Nova Scotia. They will have the 4-1 lead after 4 ends of play. And we will be back with you in just a few moments. Welcome back to the semifinal of the Junior Women's event at the 2022 New Holland Canadian Juniors. It is Team Nova Scotia with a 4-1 lead over Team Alberta. If you're just joining us, this is our feature matchup. We also have 3 other semifinals on the ice today. In the other women's game, It is Team Ontario with a 4-2 lead over Team Northern Ontario. On the men's side, we have Ontario and Saskatchewan all tied up at 2. On the other men's game, it is Alberta and Manitoba all tied up at 1. And to get to this path, Team Nova Scotia went through the round robin undefeated, 8-0, and got by straight to the semifinal. Team Alberta, 5-3 record, fought their way through. Big battle last night against New Brunswick. They won, and they are back here on the ice.
Hard, at least a 2. Gotta go. Third 2. Hard. Okay.
And we see Alberta needing to create some offense this morning, throwing the corner guard.
Yep.
Nova Scotia calling for the guard. Again, with this 5-rock free guard zone rule, you often see more of an offensive strategy being used as defense. This is Nova Scotia leads Kate Fitzgerald's second stone.
3. Line down her side. Yeah, Allison. Where?
We're 3. Tight 3.
Clean. Okay.
Trying to hold that line, excellent line call.
A little. Whoa. Really good throw, Kate.
And a great execute guard. You see, did over curl a hair, but that's actually perfect because you didn't want to show any of the inside of that stone over on the corner guard side. Because if so, Alberta would have potentially played a hidden roll. Right now, that's not available, so they are playing a straight draw around the corner guard.
As we get into the middle of the game here now, Alberta's going to have to try and generate a little offense. It's not a huge deficit, but time is ticking away. Ends are bleeding away a little bit on them. Converting their deuce here would be pretty important, I think.
Even just for the confidence side of things and momentum. So they had great weight on that rock,
Yeah.
but they have about half.
Okay, half.
It is a thin half, but where that guard is, it's pretty high in the way the ice curls. They should have no problem getting to this stone. We really like to see a roll behind the center guard as well.
Oh. Clean.
Nova Scotia second.
Clean. Yeah.
Allison Umla.
Hard, Lauren. Whoa. Whoa. Straight. Yep. Hard. Yes.
And a beautiful line call, beautifully swept.
Really good patience there again by Nova Scotia. Just cleaning it in, and then as soon as Taylor saw the break and read that the line was there for the roll, called her sweepers on. Good patience. And that kind of defines a little bit their style of play in general. I've been curious to see that they're not playing it terribly complicated. They're choosing shots that they can make, and then they're executing them perfectly. So, kind of a good strategy.
And this rock is going sideways, trying to scrub to get by the guard, and they will clip it.
That was another one of those deceivingly big/small holes. It looked like there was a big hole there, but again, because of the amount of curl, if she backs the weight off that a little bit, she's going to flirt with her own red guard just to get to the yellow one. So it wasn't an easy shot.
I'll leave Nova Scotia line 3. And they will play a guard on their rocks in the center.
It's all you. Line only. Make sure you're 3. Kate. You gotta go, Kate. Push. Hard. You gotta get it across center. Hard. Keep going.
And
Okay.
that
That's fine.
That is pretty close to perfect. They would have liked it to curl up another inch or two. And that the hit on the rock in the forefoot is still available for Alberta, so this will be their second crack at it for Raylan Helston.
Yeah, the kicker is that rock on the top of the 8-foot. She doesn't have a lot of room to roll to be shot and cover. Very difficult because of that yellow rock on the top 8-foot. It makes it a little bit tight for them. Had to be pretty precise there just to get it where it was shot and under cover.
I don't think you can get a roll under, can you?
I mean, I do have some air.
Okay.
I do like that confidence.
What do you think, 10-5?
Having a bit of error on that.
You got it, 10-5.
I mean, ideally, if they could roll under a pinch, they really don't want to leave this in a spot where Alberta could have an easier hit and roll behind either the center or their corner.
10-5. Clean. No.
Yep.
Yeah, Kate.
Yep. 13.
Oh. Yep.
And they'll get to nose.
Maybe throw 10.
Okay, you got it, Kaylee. Yeah.
10, Kaylee.
It is a
Be
lot.
another crack
I don't know.
It'll curl.
at this hidden roll. Her Team Alberta just needing to trust where that broom is, knowing it will curl.
10-5. Whoa. 10-5.
Hey, go. Really gotta go. Okay. Oh, sorry.
Hidden roll out, but you'd heard that there. It didn't. Looking at it was hard broom to look at, knowing it would curl. I think they have their weight a bit more than they intended to throw on that shot, and we saw the results right there.
Yeah, Taylor now choosing to go to the other side. This way, if she peeks out, they're not going to give Alberta the roll under their own guard. Smart call.
Line's great. It looks like it's gonna die. Yeah, a bit of room. Net. Hard cheat. Hard cheat. Where? Hard. Keep going. Hard line. Go. Hard. There's not a little rotation, just came off.
And that was a good comment about the rotation on the rock too, because it's not just your kick out of the hack, it's how much rotation you have on the rock. If you have a bit more, it'll carry better. If you throw a little bit less than usual, it will dig, and they suspect that's what happened there.
Gotta get it off the guard.
Top 8 coming down now.
That's really good.
T-line. T-line back. Back
Okay,
in.
curl it.
It can't go.
Sorry.
I think that was a little bit getting caught up in feeling that they needed to curl it. I don't think they're trusting that the ice will finish on its own, and the Nova Scotia playing, sitting 3 in the rings.
That's really close.
So this opens it up for a tap on the yellow rock, just biting the top 8, one just off center.
I think we're 3. Just T-line, wait. 4:15 still? All right, let's make this go.
This is a great opportunity for Team Nova Scotia to really put the pressure on Team Alberta.
Yeah, if they cut off this side, it's going to be really tough for Alberta to come in on the other side and get a chunk of the 4.
scrub to keep the line.
Oh,
And they did just.
that's a good shot. Alberta has some decisions to make here now.
What drop side? What? Okay. Yeah, I think we gotta open things up here. 9 or 10. Hey, yeah, try to kill them both. Yeah. Little more. Yeah.
Not,
I like this.
Let's open up the top.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
it.
So you hear Alberta talking about how they need to open it up, make their last shot easier. I think 2 is basically out the window at this point, barring a very strange miss from Team Nova Scotia. So we're playing the double on those top 2 yellows. What that does is not only open up the rock at the back, but it also opens up the forefoot for a draw on the in-turn side.
I think if you're watching some of the junior men out here, they would be throwing a vapor trail at this, trying to clear all 4 of them.
10.
I'm not saying it's there. I'm saying you might see them try it.
Okay.
I'm surprised that they didn't throw more weight at that, actually, Sean, because you really just need to get those 2 rocks out of there, take some pressure off.
Bit thicker than
I feel like maybe they're a little tentative with respect to when it starts to curl and when it stays straight, especially on these outside paths, those slight outside paths.
I think more actually.
So maybe she was just trying to be careful with keeping the shooter around. It didn't really work out for her, unfortunately, but
Do you like
possibly
going
that's
to
what
3
she was
or do you
thinking.
like going in for 4? Okay.
If I was down there as one of those sweepers, I'd be saying, go in there for 4, stick the knife in and twist it situation.
Let her play the draw for 1. A force here is good.
Because really, if they put that rock right back into the top 8, again, I mentioned how that was a problem for Team Alberta. It made their draw in the in-turn more difficult. So throwing that there, covering part of that yellow rock in the forefoot would be ideal. And here's the last stone. Nova Scotia skip, Taylor Stevens.
Clean. Just clean right now. It's got to move. Got to let it break. Clean. Curl the hair. Whoa, just let it work. Let it work.
We're 1. We're
Go
hot.
now. Go now. Go now. Hard. Hard. Hard, kid. Hard. Hard. Go. A little bit further. Hard.
And they'll do the trick.
Pretty much forces Alberta into the in-turn draw. Needs a really pretty good chunk of the forefoot, possibly a touch of the button for her 1.
Now this is the shot she threw 2 ends ago. Same
A
spot.
little less than my draw for 1 the other end, right? Because we need a piece of the pin here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If
Because that was back 4. So
Yeah, I mean, if you throw the same, we can be off it a little more.
I'd rather not.
Just throw similar though.
Yeah, I'll
Like
throw it really similar.
Yeah.
Just a little bit less.
Yeah. Just like a foot or 2. You got it.
You got it.
Needing full 4. Team Alberta throwing against 3 Nova Scotia stones. Claire Booth with her last here in end number 5.
A little soft. Pin her. Hair tight.
T-line. T-line.
Oh,
Only line. Only line.
go. Line's really good.
This rock is diving. Need to go to get it by the rock in the top 4.
Clutch shot. What a clutch shot.
And that will be a single point for Team Alberta. And they will trail Nova Scotia 4-2 heading into the break. And we will be back with you in just a few moments.
When the cab is your office, you'll never get tired of going to work. Spring, summer, fall. Season after season, New Holland offers the solutions and connected technology that you need. From seeding and spraying to the world's leading twin-rotor combine, New Holland has you covered from emergence to harvest. Visit your local New Holland dealer to learn more about how New Holland helps you get it done.
Welcome back to the 2022 New Holland Canadian Junior Men's and Women's Curling Championships here in Stratford, Ontario. We're at the fifth end break of our featured game. Team Nova Scotia leading Team Alberta 4-2 after 5 ends. Team Nova Scotia will have the hammer in end 6. My name's Danielle Inglis, and I am here with Sean Turriff. Sean, your thoughts on the first half of this game?
I think what we're seeing is that Nova Scotia is playing a patient game. They're really managing the scoreboard well. If you take a look at the scoreboard, it's pretty much what we would draw up in a coaching session. When you got hammer, take 2. When you don't have hammer, either blanket or give up 1. And right now it's 2, blank, 1, 2, 1. So Nova Scotia is playing a really patient game. Alberta's struggling a little bit with a couple of key over curls and a little bit of a little bit less weight sensitive than Nova Scotia. So I think they've got to tighten that up a little bit. The game's, it's only a 2-point game and there's 5 ends to play. There's still anyone's game right now. Alberta just needs to tighten up a little bit. I'm really impressed though with Nova Scotia and the patience they show, not only in the gameplay and where they're calling shots, and they're not trying to rush stuff, but they're also calling, they're sweeping with a lot of patience. So they're letting the ice do the work. On that last one, Taylor made the comment, just let it run, just let it run. And as it was coming into play, then she had the sweepers kind of drag it into position. So some really smart, mature calls there. So Alberta's right there though, so I expect a tight last 5.
And if you're the Team Alberta coach, what are you saying to the players here at the break?
Yeah, I think I'm preaching patience as well. And I'm like I said earlier, it's only 2 points. There's lots of game left. It's well in hand. It's you're in the game. Just make sure you stay in the game. Push when you need to. Be careful about taking chances, and have the confidence that you need. Because I mean, you're here for a reason. This is the semifinal. You can do this.
All right, and we will be back with the second half of this game in just a few moments.
Curling teaches as much about life as it does about sport. Club, team, house, lead, rock. These are the words of our sport, words we embody, powerful words, words that speak to everything we represent: respect, togetherness, strength. Curling doesn't discriminate. The ice doesn't judge. It adapts. It accepts. Curling isn't a book to be judged by its cover. On these sheets, everyone is on the same page. It's what's on the inside that counts. We dream big. We play with heart. We focus on these circles and imagine podiums in far-off places. In a game of inches, every move counts. Are you ready to make yours? The support of the curling community makes it possible for thousands of kids across Canada to follow their dreams, on and off the ice. Please give generously.
Welcome back to the women's semifinal here at the 2022 New Holland Canadian Juniors. We are live from the Stratford Rotary Complex here on this snowy Friday morning. Again, my name's Danielle Inglis, and I am joined in the booth by Sean Turriff, who is the mentor coach on behalf of Curling Canada here at the New Holland Canadian Juniors. We have 3 other semifinals on the ice.
Take it.
In the Sheet A semifinal, Alberta versus Manitoba on the men's side. It is Alberta with a 2-1 lead after 5.
Yeah.
In the other men's semifinal, Ontario 4-3 over Team Saskatchewan at the break. And Team Ontario continuing to steal in the women's game. They now have a 7-2 lead over Team Northern Ontario. Back on our feature sheet, it is Team Nova Scotia 4-2 after 5 ends.
Running, really running.
And they will have the hammer here in end number 6.
Yep, right here. It's really good. Make sure we're here, guys. Yep. Gotta be here, yep. Line's really good.
Alberta throwing up that initial center guard, maybe looking to generate a little offense.
Yep, right to it.
Didn't listen to me in the 5th end break, maybe kind of pushing the offense, but that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
And a beautiful freeze. Right in behind the center guard. Team Nova Scotia looking to play a freeze tap. They are electing to play the out turn. Great idea to try to get better alignment on the stones.
That's fine. Yep.
Lead Kate Fitzgerald.
Hard line.
This one cutting pretty hard early. One thing about an event like this, Danielle, and you know, because you've played in tons of these, in the 5th end, in the mid-game, there's a break, and the ice makers will come out and they'll mop the ice, or they'll run a mop basically up and down the sheet, just to keep it fresh while the teams have their 5-minute break. The net effect of that, though, sometimes is that the speed comes up just a touch, and you might get a touch more curl just for a little while. I think I said in an earlier broadcast, I was coaching a team this year, and one of my jobs as the coach was literally to say the words to our lead in the 5th end break. Lead, it's the 6th end, so that he would remember that yes, it's a little quicker.
Top 8. No. Let it come down.
Top 8.
These 2 teams though have pretty much nailed the weight, so that's not an issue for these 2.
We would like this to have stopped in top 8.
Yeah, not a horrible result though. I don't think there's not really a double there. There's no real way to get that top second red rock out. So
You can do that. Unlock it. Yeah. I like that.
I really like that call to unlock it, get a better alignment, and then perhaps rip the guard later. But they are at least 2 shots away from being able to remove that red rock by the top button.
and again, Taylor playing a patient game, so kind of throwing this one to set up down the road.
Board. Clean. Close. Yep. Hard, Lauren. You gotta go.
Big scrub. This is diving towards the guard. They will get it by.
That's not bad.
Unlocking the red rock, creating a more separation, sitting shots second, third, and fourth.
We almost gotta protect that for now. Okay. Even up here is okay.
Claire coming back with a little patience of her own. She's not rushing. She's not in a hurry to get second shot right now. She just wants to protect the situation a little bit.
Right now.
Again, a mature call. I think a smart view on what's happening. A little future planning there.
Good. It's all there. No
Our birthday girl from yesterday, Raylan.
Just T-line. Coming down. T top four.
I don't know. Yep. Yep.
T top four.
I don't know. No. Yep. Yep. Chip it.
Okay.
A little got caught in between two shots there, and here's some indecision from Claire about how to play it, but
Just sit right there.
Not a horrible result. We're gonna
probably
still
triple these three.
no real double there. Maybe if you catch the crotch of the red yellow there, you might spill both reds.
I think you could spill both reds. You'll also lose your yellow back there. If you can throw a ton of weight, there's a triple. But we're going to have to see some big weight here from Allison.
It's good. Hard out.
That thinner than they'd like, but it's actually a pretty good result. They've now realigned the angles back to where they'd like, so they're waiting for it to curl up. They did make contact with their yellow first, took away some of the momentum, so you don't see that red rock pop out. But they really realigned the angles nicely.
Yeah, Alberta really can't. It's pretty dicey to play anything on that top yellow one, so we might see Claire play the intern draw freeze. A little bit of risk there too. If she doesn't put it in the right place, then she may leave a tap back to sit four.
You just leave a double.
What do you like, Kaylee? I just don't want to give up.
So anything on this top yellow rock,
I like it if you like it.
it's dangerous.
Yeah, I like it.
It was interesting just hearing what they're talking about. They're more afraid to give up points rather than just going for it.
Not really seeing anything.
They could play that intern freeze on the yellow, lock it on.
I know. But you do that, they make a double and say three. Yeah.
Yeah, like we said in the break, Alberta's got to be a little bit careful here. They can't let the game get away from them here. So they want to make sure that they're not giving Nova Scotia a chance to score too many. At this point, they're going to be hard pressed not to give up a deuce, but I think that's the absolute maximum Claire would want to let them have.
Yeah.
So this is more of a, how do I put this? A shot to prevent a score rather than really going for it. Again, that it will prevent a big one. They're basically afraid to give up a big one, as you mentioned, Sean. Like Nova Scotia's in a great position to get a deuce, and Alberta doesn't want to give up a three.
Right.
Playing a bit scared.
Yeah, Alberta really needs to try to force here. It's just angles haven't lined up very well for them right now. Aren't very well lined up for them.
Realigning the angles.
Try to punch
They're-
this one over a bit. Just 10. Okay.
As you can see here, it's Nova Scotia can easily take back control over the angles with a noser. You even saw Taylor indicate that hit it on the low side, you could even bounce your yellow over a bit and still stay relatively on the face.
Yes.
The nice thing is that Alberta clustered those rocks up, so there's a better chance now of Alberta getting a double out of a subsequent shot.
Gotta go, gotta go, gotta go. Good.
And a great result for Team Nova Scotia.
You got it, Kaylee.
And there you go. There's the double call. They can probably make the double and flop inside even, and then really turn the end around a little bit. And,
Pressure shot for Kaylee. This is hanging wide, so playing for plan B.
that was not the plan. That was not plan B either.
No, they really shouldn't have touched that. They were thinking they would get the double the other way, not realizing how hard it was hanging.
Like top 12, top 8.
Called the sweep on and should have left it.
One saving grace for Alberta, they still have the in-turn draw to that shot rock to freeze on top of it if they need to.
So that's why this shot here for Nova Scotia is crucial, that they get it. Just biting top 4 area. Even full 4 works well. Really will put the pressure on Alberta.
Clean it. It should come off. We're on this one right now, so it's fine. No, it needs to sit.
This rock also hanging out.
Sit down, sit down. Never.
You see that on arena ice too. You up your weight a few feet. That was about back 4 weight.
All we have to do is here.
And it just did not get that finish.
Getting rid of it. That's going there.
Yeah, the break point tends to be later than what we see in a club. And it doesn't take much. Doesn't take much of an addition on the weight to prolong it to a point where you don't get what you need.
And this is where, this was a gift that Nova Scotia just gave to Alberta. If they can freeze down to really have their rock anywhere in the top 4 foot, it'll be tough for Nova Scotia to remove it.
I think I'd like to see them get it. Well, that hole isn't huge, but I think I'd like to see them get it as close as they can to the inside of that one on the button. If they leave it too high, I think we'd see Nova Scotia try and pick it or try and run something into it. Really like to see her get to the inside of this one and not bump. But boy, oh boy, I like that spot if I'm Alberta.
They've got lots of backing.
We should be shot 2, and then she has to play the freeze to not give us a shot for 3. Yep. Do you think we could get it out of the...
It's close. If you want to play a big weight on it, you could probably get a decent roll.
If we could get to right there and send this at least there, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
We just need to throw like 9.
Yeah, 9.
Well, good game plan by Nova Scotia. They're hoping they can squirt the red rock out far enough so that they will lay 3 after this. And if all goes to plan, their shooter should stick right at the top button.
Through and sit 3. Okay. And I think we roll under. The other option is just to nose it, which is So nose is good. It's tough to get the roll under looking from here, so just 9. No, just 9.
Yeah, sometimes the perspective is different once you get into the hack, and it's close to edge on edge with the tight center guard.
Hey, this is not an easy shot. She comes across the face a little bit, and she's going to rub off the one on the edge of the 4 foot and jam it into the pocket of the other 2 yellows. So tough shot here for Taylor. Really good shot by Claire to put the pressure on.
Yep. Whoa. Right off. Curl.
will get the shot. It looks like they may not, debatable who's sitting shot there.
I think the key on this one now for Alberta is just to make sure that they're sitting second, third in a way that there's no double. The force here would be fine for Alberta.
Angles are still in Nova Scotia's favor currently.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay, I'll just give you a fair.
Where
Yeah,
are
I
we trying
think
to
I
get
think
Just sink it right onto the yellow. It's really good. Even if we're top 4, it's not too awful.
Yeah.
Right there is ideal for Team Alberta. If they can put that in there, it'll force Nova Scotia potentially to a single.
yeah, my issue with that one is there's always this run.
Just like that.
Just like with the sound effects and everything.
Crucial shot for Claire Booth in her last here in end number 6.
Key back! Same way!
Ooh, this one's running a little bit.
Raylan, you gotta go to get it.
You gotta go, Raylan.
It's starting to move now, though.
You gotta go. You gotta go.
Okay.
Oh, I really like that.
Yeah, they are shot stone.
Okay, they're only one. They're only one. Yeah. I don't think it's ever like moving too much. No.
Now Nova Scotia, I
never
do
gets
like
to the
that. I'm
floor,
not sure
does
how
it?
much better Claire could have done there. She
I don't wanna
maybe she
do
doesn't
that
rub,
without-
then it's a little better. But
Way too like at it.
It's really forcing Nova Scotia into a tough shot here for a
I
single.
think I like
yeah, I don't.
5
I
better.
think the only shot she's got is the run here onto this one to kick it onto this one and maybe hopefully squirt it up into the
Inside.
pin area.
Yeah, because that
shit,
second
did it
yellow
actually?
rock will touch the yellow that's frozen too, and that'll help it spin up.
They're just shot
Right,
one
it'll-
now.
this yellow
Just
one will
how
come
is
off
this?
it.
It should spin in for shot.
Because of, yeah, exactly what you said.
Just 9-5.
Can I stop making
Should fill
sound
up
effects when
nicely.
I draw on the
No.
telescreen?
Same thing I threw in the 4th end.
Big shot coming. Big shot needed from Nova Scotia's Taylor Stevens here in N6 with their last rock.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Last thing we want to do is over curl this one.
You got it. You gotta go hard. Okay.
It will over curl, and that will be a steal of 1 for Team Alberta. We'll be back with you in just a few moments for N7.
This is where the focus comes into play. Look at that. Canada, say hello to your new champions.
Proudly pulling for this generation of Canadians and the next for over 40 years at the Scotties Tournament of Hearts.
And we are back for the semifinals of the 2022 New Holland Canadian Juniors. And we have a measurement here. Taylor was pretty confident that it was only 1, but Team Alberta called for the measure at the end of the end. So we have our umpire out and measuring the stones, something that's different at the Canadian level. It is the umpires who do the measuring. And it looks like yellow is closer, so that will only be 1. Steal 1 for Team Alberta. Nova Scotia still maintaining the lead, 4-3. The two teams taking a moment between ends to gather themselves. As you can see the scoreboard here, had a really tight game, and that was a very interesting end. A lot of rocks in play. Nova Scotia had the angles for most of the end, up until Taylor's first rock, and then a beautiful shot by Claire Booth to get in for shot stone, and that was the steal that you're seeing in N6.
Yeah, pretty clutch by Claire to make that shot. And actually, both of her shots were well thrown, well managed. Showed a lot of poise there in a what could have been, that end could have been the pivotal end for the game here.
We have 3 other semifinals out on the ice today. The other women's semifinal is Ontario with a 7-2 lead over Team Northern Ontario. We also have 2 men's games out on the ice. We have Team Alberta, Team Manitoba, and we also have Team Ontario, Team Saskatchewan. Team Ontario with a 4-3 lead over Team Saskatchewan. And it's Manitoba with the edge, 3-2 over Team Alberta. Again, you can keep track of the scores on Curling Canada's website, curling.ca/scoreboard. Here we see Team Alberta through a tight center guard. Nova Scotia playing the come around.
Hard line.
Tight right off the back. Both sweepers picking this up.
Hard, Allison. Hard, you gotta get a roll.
Alberta may be trying to take a little advantage of the momentum they got out of the steal in that last end. Maybe playing a touch more aggressive now. They don't need to take huge chances. They need to score. Obviously, they need to score coming home to take over this game. But they don't need to take huge chances. They do need to be a bit aggressive. So that probably is why they chose that center guard.
Curling. Coming off. Yeah, drag it for weight then. Go reeling. Yeah, you finish it. Yeah, gotta finish.
And it will stop great splitting T-line. Nova Scotia will be able to play a freeze or a freeze tap.
I really like the way they managed the sweeping on that shot. We mentioned yesterday in the live stream that the whole concept of directional sweeping or sweeping it into the direction that they wanted to curl sometimes is backfiring on teams because the net effect is really, they're not really getting any more curl, but what they are getting is more distance. In that case, Alberta was really patient. They waited for the break, the natural break in the ice, and then once it started to break, then they massaged it into place. So good patience shown by both teams on that front today.
Team 7.
And an overcorrection by Kate. She came up late on her first and overthrew on her second one. She would have had great line on that shot. And we can see it's just nibbling the back 12. Alberta throw a few feet less right in front of that rock would be ideal. Well, that can really put some pressure on Nova Scotia with this shot if it's made perfectly.
Close. Line's good.
Top
Clean. Clean.
Room. Gotta go wait though. Gotta go wait.
Kate, go with your head.
Gotta go.
Stay
Yeah,
out
just go.
Yeah, just go. Just go, yeah.
And that'll do the trick. They're sitting shot 1-2. About half buried behind guard. Now Nova Scotia switching their tactics up, playing the double peel.
Kate. Nice. Good.
And a beautiful double peel, leaving the corner, which actually is key in this case, because if they double peeled and lost the shooter, they were more playing for a blank rather than a 2, but that corner guard leaves an opportunity for a potential deuce.
Yeah, 4 feet left. You got it.
I think I heard more than 4 feet. I think it was just her cross field.
Okay, yeah.
So less is better. Okay.
Team Alberta playing the tight center guard, and we talked earlier about how particular you have to be about the placement of these guards because there is so much swing in the ice. Really need to make sure it's tight. Also remembering the finish that we'll see at the end.
This one's extra tricky. She doesn't want to put it in a spot where they can hopefully double off those top 2 ones. So she's got to worry about a whole raft of issues here.
That's what I meant when I said really high. I meant the high, really high 2.
That's pretty good. Depth is good, and forces Nova Scotia to maybe not take the risk on the double peel. If she tries to make the double peel, she probably leaves the shooter pretty close to that center line, which is not what Nova Scotia would want to do.
And they're just going to play a quiet hit and roll off of the rock in the top 12.
Still thinking about how to use that corner guard if she can get a little flop under that corner guard.
You gotta go for a piece. You gotta move it. You gotta move it hard. Okay.
We'll catch a piece, but the unfortunate part for Nova Scotia is that they've only just ticked it over, and it's still partially buried by that center guard.
Yeah. I even.
Lights okay. Yeah, we're going top 8? Yeah.
Top 8.
So now Alberta,
Yeah.
they could walk it down. Would like to have it just fighting top 4 in behind the guard.
Top 8. Kate, top 8's really good. Close line, yep. Okay. Cover it off. Yep. Whoa. Top 12. Yep. Top 8. Hard. Hard line. Top 12. Hard.
This rock is diving. Need a big scrub to get it by the rock in the top.
No. Okay, that's good. That's
It
good.
will rub off, but it will be mostly buried behind the center guard.
Yeah, I think that does the trick, forcing Nova Scotia to play the in-turn.
Think you can get to
run
number
out.
10-5?
Yeah.
Okay, let's make it. We could also play this.
Yeah.
No, never mind. I like this.
Okay.
Taylor is asking for player to play a soft weight hit, hopefully coming up to about nose. That means they could remove the rock in behind in the back 4.
Yeah! Gotta go, Kate. Hard.
This one cutting early, but sweeper holding it. Ooh.
That's fine, Warren.
That was plan B, though. That was tolerance. Removing that rock exposes it.
Yeah, sorry.
Now puts the onus on Alberta to make a perfect
Yeah,
guard.
right here is good.
This is where you want one of the big rocks to throw for the guard, to guard both sides.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, choosing a side. I think I prefer to choose to guard as much of the rock on the center line as I could, leaving the other one. There's a very slight angle between those 2 red rocks. And so if you ever get a little high coming in on the outturn side, you might chap off the other red rock in the top 8 foot and not get to the one on the 4 foot. So I think ideally I'm guarding as much as I can of the one that's on the center line.
Go, girl, go. Gotta go wait. Make sure you're tight.
I'm not tight.
Okay. Yep. Hard.
Looks like Claire agreed with me.
Okay.
So they had a big sweep to get that rock in. It will stay as a high guard.
Pretty much forces Nova Scotia to come with the outturn side, like I was saying a second ago. And if she gets a little high on this, those 2 rocks will rub.
I like playing that one because then we're probably going to have a shot.
Yeah. I just don't want it to rub off this one and get jam. Do you think you can get by with like 9.5 or something?
Yeah.
Hit like 3/4 of it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? You like that? Okay.
It's 9.5.
You got it. Yep.
So they were,
Go ahead,
sorry.
Dana.
Well, I was going to say there's a little bit to unpack here. As you can see, there is that triple possibility here if they have enough weight on it and hit it at the right angle. But at the very least, if they can remove those 2 red rocks, that will open up both sides for Nova Scotia. I mean, Alberta will still have the chance to draw in, but that red guard that they just threw is so high that Nova Scotia should be able to get to whatever rock is thrown into the house.
Whoa. Close, yeah. Yeah! Hard! Whoa, 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 whoa!
Oh,
Sorry.
And they were trying to play the audible on that shot, got caught in between the two, overcurled on them.
that's just crazy unlucky. If she hits that a little higher, she might get that triple you drew up, Danielle. If she hits that a little more to the nose, she probably gets the double.
Okay, middle?
I don't think we drew that one up.
Yeah, maybe
I thought that was your beautiful artistic skills.
No, I mean, I don't think we drew the hit and the knock through. I don't think we...
Well, that was tough to do. I don't think she could do that if you gave her 100 more shots.
17.
So Alberta, I believe they called the guard. They could actually put a rock right back into the top 4-foot area.
And then create that little Christmas tree effect.
Exactly. The stick the knife in and twist it. Now, the reason why they're playing the guard is it's a simpler shot. They've got more tolerance on it.
Yeah, any number of ways to miss badly
Pay
on the
attention.
draw in for the Christmas tree, but
Tight. Top 12. Just tight.
No, it's go down.
Just tight. Just tight.
Fighting top 12.
I think we're
Can
just
we
tight.
take? Can we take? Go ahead.
Just top 12. Just top 12.
Well, now
It's okay.
they almost could have had that Christmas tree. They were having to wait, as you saw it just barely pass by the corner guard. If they pounded it after that, they almost could have had it. So this opens up for Nova Scotia with Taylor's first rock to play a double.
9.
What they also want to be careful of here is not jamming it straight back and over to center, because then it would end up sitting in the top button area. Taylor Stevens with her first rock in N7.
I think pretty much a nose hit will do this. Nose hit wouldn't be terrible. We'd get the double and it would give her a good shot at reduce, I think.
Clean, yes!
This one curling.
Whoa!
Oh,
And Taylor was trying to call them off, recognizing that she was over curling and wanting to roll as far as possible.
now Alberta in a good position. What they really want to do is cut off that run. So that's what they're aiming for. Still think, again, because the ice curls so much, they're gonna try and guard this here. But I still think at the end of the day, there's still that shot available. But it's so difficult. Absolutely leave her this shot every day.
Absolutely. And also because they would have to put the broom out and go out farther with their throw than any rock has been on this ice so far.
Right, really precise. Basically, Claire is forcing Taylor into a really, really precise shot by throwing this guard.
Base better. 2. High 2. Too early. High 2. Over and up. 1.
They're really having to scrub this to get it over.
Looks like they'll get it over. That's a good brush by the ladies.
We'll give big sweepers all the credit for that one.
Beautiful line on that, too. That's so long that Nova Scotia isn't really going to consider any kind of run back there.
See Taylor putting down the broom, a wide in turn. Important she needs a piece of the pin for the single. Also important in this shot that if you're not going to make it perfect, at least don't count that second red rock fighting the top 8. Last rock, and then 7. Nova Scotia with the hammer, needing draw to the pin for the single.
If they think it's back 4, it's probably very close. We know it sometimes we'll dig in here.
All you. Whoa! Good. Allison's rock if anyone. It's all you. Okay, good job.
Skating, and that will be a steal of 1 for Team Alberta. We will be all tied up heading into the 8th end. And we'll be back in just a few moments.
When the cab is your office, you'll never get tired of going to work. Spring, summer, fall. Season after season, New Holland offers the solutions and connected technology that you need. From seeding and spraying to the world's leading twin-rotor combine, New Holland has you covered from emergence to harvest. Visit your local New Holland dealer to learn more about how New Holland helps you get it done.
Welcome back to the semifinals of the Junior Women's here at the 2022 New Holland Canadian Juniors, Stratford, Ontario. My name is Danielle Inglis, and I'm joined in the booth by Sean Turoff. We have a tied game in our feature matchup, Team Alberta, Team Nova Scotia. We also have 3 other semifinals on the ice on the women's side. We have Team Ontario taking on Team Northern Ontario. And Team Ontario getting a single point, and they'll have an 8-4 lead. On the men's side, Team Ontario 5-3 over Team Saskatchewan. And in the Alberta and Manitoba matchup, they are all tied up at 3 apiece. And you can keep track of the line scores on Curling Canada's website at curling.ca/scoreboard.
Alberta continuing with this cautiously aggressive start. Tight-ish guard just in front of the New Holland logo. Maybe sensing a little momentum shift here. They've been executing better since the break than they had been earlier in the game.
Okay, just come around our red.
And it's paying off for them. They're not taking huge chances, but they are really being a little bit more precise than they were in the first half, and it's, like I say, it's paying off for them.
Yeah, they're really capitalizing on the misses from Nova Scotia.
Yeah, and in fairness, I don't think we saw as many misses in the first half from Nova Scotia that Claire could take advantage of, but she's gotten the odd one here and there, and at this point in the week, and with the caliber of these teams, the misses don't have to be huge in order to be costly.
Yeah, Kayla, you gotta go. Sorry. Yeah.
Didn't quite catch the curl and slow down fast enough. So this opens the door for Nova Scotia to play a draw around their rock. Lead Kate Fitzgerald.
Mine's good.
Second rock.
Top 4. Close, Allison. Close. Yep. Yes.
Mine only.
Hard then. Mine's good.
Mine only.
Okay, no. There, just top 8. Just top 8. They're over curling.
You need this rock to sit. They don't want it to poke out the other side.
Take
But
it.
it will be almost fully exposed on the center. See Claire calling for hack weight hit.
You got it, Raylan. Nice and easy.
Probably even like the roll over to the right side.
Really good anticipation on the brushing call there from Claire.
Change of plans. They'll get the roll behind the other guard. Will poke out a hair.
Yeah, I think Claire, though, on that one recognized the weight was down a little bit and got on it right away. And the brushers were able to save that. Not the worst thing for it to pop out there. Really no double here, and Nova Scotia feeling like they can't leave it in play.
Clean. Whoa. Hard, Florence. You gotta go. You gotta go.
They were waiting for that curl, and here it came.
Okay, good throw. Didn't know it was down.
Yeah, you heard Taylor say it ended up being less than they were hoping for. It called for the hack.
Yeah, and she specifically said, I didn't know it was down. So that might be, it might be a noise factor. All week, this team's been great about communicating on the weight shots, and I have no doubt they're still doing it out there. But again, the crowd's a little bigger, and there's quite a bit of noise out here. The timing of those cheers may not correspond to what's going on in your sheet.
This rock is diving towards the corner. Need a sweep to hold it, but it will be on that guard.
A little flop, though, and
Okay, that's okay.
job mostly done, really. I think we'll see Taylor probably try and open it up, maybe try and run. I think I'd be tempted to come the other handle and maybe run it onto the one on the forefoot and flop your shooter over. Opens up the center, and maybe you get lucky, and it's basically the same shot as she calling, just with the added possible benefit of popping that one off the forefoot.
Yep, they could even spill their shooter in if they hit this correctly.
No, never. Small piece right now.
Okay.
Got caught in between on that one. You mentioned earlier that the momentum is now all in Alberta's favor, and for Team Nova Scotia, they're really going to need a solid shot to reinstill that confidence in the team. They need one of those great big shots. That was an opportunity that could have been and unfortunately missed. But fortunately for Alberta, they can now draw a third into the house.
Back there. Corlin, if you can. A little bit. Back line, back four. Yep. Hey, back 8. Wall then. T-line. Hard.
Yeah, the sweeper's just getting tricked by how much that curl would affect the weight. They had been calling about back 4, and it just came down with the curl.
Yeah, a bit of a miscue there, but again, not a bad situation. I mean, there's nothing wide open here for Taylor.
You like that still?
She's looking coming through that hole, Danielle.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a tight hole. Yeah.
Yeah, timeout called. Team Nova Scotia, so we'll see Coach Mary Matitall join the team. Give some words of wisdom, so we will listen in here.
Yeah.
So that yellow isn't really is hurting us a little.
Yeah.
So two things. You can either run that in and try to get the double off the corner,
Okay.
or run the yellow in. Like
Okay.
if you get lucky, you can run the yellow in and get shot out of it, still under the corner. But you have to leave yourself open. And right now we got to do some cleanup.
Yeah.
More so than just a halfway bump it around.
Okay.
So which do you like? Do you like the run in of their red or run in of that yellow? You can get it either side.
I'd rather the yellow, I think.
Yeah. And get it there. You can throw it nice and clean up something so that we have.
Do you want us to throw peel or nine?
Just throw in there. Yeah. Just take, take the curl out of it. But halfway. We just keep it simple. We got 3 minutes to go. It is all good.
Yep.
We're going to make the shot at the end of the last.
Good confidence instilling words from Mary. This is one of those big shots that if they can make this run back here, stick it, really swing some of the momentum back into Nova Scotia's favor. You can see there, if they can stick it or even get a piece of it, roll, that would also work. And what that also does is it removes that center line guard and opens it up.
I think Coach Mary Matadol also recognizing that the girls are maybe feeling a little frustrated out there.
Yeah. Yep.
I think it's important to give her credit for the tone of her timeout. She did a really good job of being relaxed and calm.
They could get the other way and catch the other rock in the back, and they do.
Now for Nova Scotia, that house looks a little bit more manageable. So
Do you like here?
good call.
If you're here, it's pretty good. Yeah.
And for Team Alberta, this now forces them to play more towards the outside of the sheet, which is where Nova Scotia would like them. There's some tolerance on this shot if they can put it just by top 8, even top 12 is fine.
Line's really nice.
Don't want to leave a double for Nova Scotia, so I'd like to tuck a piece at least.
2, 3.
Okay. Easy, guys. Easy.
Just 2.
Okay, well done.
Almost a 1.
Change of
Just a
plans.
one.
Yeah, go big, Kate.
Going to leave this as a guard.
Hard over. Hard over. It's got to be over the hog line. Okay. Okay.
Kick.
Seeing the 4-foot path slowing down, and that, they knew it was light, but that certainly caught Alberta by surprise. Double peel being asked of Lauren Ferguson.
Whoa. Whoa. Yeah. I'm sorry, nose bad. Sorry.
Knows you can. The wind has come out of the sails of Team Nova Scotia. Just not getting the results that they're hoping for, and we talked on previous broadcasts too about tolerance and getting a good miss, and what the top teams do is they get something out of every miss. So you know you're not going to make every shot, but you need to get something out of it, and they've just had a couple of unfortunate misses that they haven't gotten much out of.
Yeah, they're looking a little deflated, the Nova Scotia team. They had a really strong first half and looked to be on track to kind of keep it going, but just a little, they sound a little deflated, and they look a little, I think deflated is the best word I can find for that. They're not frustrated exactly, their energy's a little bit low right now. And to your point, Danielle, I think maybe one big shot, or maybe if they can just crack a point here with Hammer, that might be enough just to bolster their spirits. I mean, they're 8-0 over the week, so we know, they know, or they should know, that they can do this, and they shouldn't lose confidence in themselves.
Well, to your point, 8-0, they haven't experienced a loss yet, then probably not experienced as much adversity either.
Easy.
But here's an opportunity for them to sink a freeze onto the red rock on the tee line.
Yeah, unfortunately that one for Claire just hung, and ended up tapping their right hand guard into the rings.
Bit of a funny spot. If you ever have any outward motion, it can stick out there.
Yeah, if you could almost.
I think that's where they got caught.
You got it, Claire. Let's make this good, girls. Line's good. Room. Whoa.
Back 4.
Allison! Got a
Throw
curl.
1, 2.
Allison, hard. Hard to get off the guard.
Or heavy.
Whoa! Quick. Kick. Hard. Okay.
So they had the weight on that. They were calling to curl, but Sean, that's an instance where if you're heavy and you're nowhere near your target rock, you should really just have brooms up and let it come to a stop, grab some of the curl on its own.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you're sweeping, no matter what you're sweeping for, whether to keep it straight or to try and curl it, you're going to take it deeper. And I think sometimes teams forget that.
Yeah, we can definitely get to nose here.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Just like
Behind the tee line here, it was
16
not ideal for Nova Scotia.
You got it.
So now you see Alberta playing a soft weight hit, and they can sit and lay 3, put the pressure on Team Nova Scotia. Now they will have, Nova Scotia, if this hit is made, they'll have the exact same draw with some backing for the single, but Team Alberta, a chance to put some real pressure on Team Nova Scotia with their last rock in end 8.
Yeah, I think
Yep, hard.
this one's tight out of her hand, but I think they're going to hold it. I think Alberta would be pleased to get the force out of this one. I don't know that Nova Scotia is going to be too excited to take a forced point.
Hard. Go, all the way. Hard kick.
And they will sit 2. Team Nova Scotia have a draw to full 4, force to the single.
We talked earlier about body language. You just saw Claire and Kaylee there. Smiles, relaxed. They look confident.
And here we go with the last rock of the 8th. Team Nova Scotia throwing against 2 Alberta rocks. Needs full 4.
Got a curl. Allison's rock. Line's good. Allison's rock. Allison, you gotta go. Hard.
And it'll just squeeze by for the single.
Right on the pin too. Clutch shot. That might be the one that bolsters their confidence or gets them back on track. We'll see. The last 2 ends should be exciting.
Nova Scotia with a 5-4 lead. After 8, we'll be back in just a few moments. Welcome back to the women's semifinal here at the 2022 New Holland Canadian Juniors. We have a tight race on our feature sheet. Team Nova Scotia with a 5-4 lead over Team Alberta. We also have our 3 other semifinals on the ice. In the other women's semifinal, Team Ontario with a commanding 10-4 lead over Team Northern Ontario. If the score holds up, we'll be seeing Ontario head into the final. On the men's side, Team Ontario 6-3,
8-3.
A little shiny there. 8-3 over Team Saskatchewan. And Team Manitoba still with a 4-3 lead over Team Alberta.
Good.
All there.
Nova Scotia electing to put up that center guard, indicating to me that they want to try and take a point here, possibly. Or at the very least, I guess, force Alberta. Alberta, I think, might be happy here to possibly blank. For Alberta, and actually for both teams, it's a matter of managing the scoreboard at this point. From the Alberta point of view, being forced would not be ideal. A blank wouldn't be horrible. Taking 2 would be fine. Then you force, the idea being then you force Nova Scotia in 10 and you hopefully win with the hammer in 11. From Nova Scotia's point of view, do you try and take one?
It's close.
If you try and take one, then you're
Okay, just stop
2 down without coming home.
Then no.
I would,
Then don't.
based on stats, that's a pretty powerful position to be in. So a steal here would put them in a good position. And saw they stopped the bleeding on the last end here, but they're not out of the woods here.
Hard.
The over curl coming up late on that, but it did poke out the other side, so there is a short run back available to them to use later on.
Before I said this, okay, I'm gonna make sure I'm there. And
Both teams getting 38 minutes of thinking time to play the game, plus 2 90-second timeouts. Currently, Alberta has 7 minutes and 53 seconds left.
just get her up some good spots.
And Nova Scotia 7 minutes and 48 seconds, which should be it should be fine considering they both have at least 1 timeout. Nova Scotia has 1 timeout. Alberta has 2, I believe.
You're all there.
So there should be lots of time, but I expect the last 2 ends there'll be lots of thinking. So you need as much time as you can for the thinking.
Got a curl.
Hence
Nice,
thinking
really
time.
nice. If you can tap it, maybe. Whoa.
Come off. Backboard.
Just let it curl up. Let it curl up. That's
And
not
good
bad at all.
patience laying it
That's
curl
fine.
up, and they'll sit 2.
That's really not that bad.
And they're pretty much fully buried. That red rock a small half.
Get there with half.
Yeah.
Probably.
Or do you want to throw less?
I don't mind half.
Hey, you got it.
Still, Nova Scotia is still showing confidence in their shot call here, playing hack weight. They're not overly concerned yet. They've played this spot before.
Yep. Hard, Kate. Hard, you gotta go.
Hard, you gotta go.
You gotta go. You got it. Hard.
Looks like they're holding it well. Should get around the guard. Oh, I thought they were going to get around.
Especially
Good
she
throw.
threw a pinch more weight than they thought.
Yeah, they didn't get on early either.
No, there was no early panic. But you can see they were sweeping it from at least halfway down, but couldn't hold it, and they will wreck on the guard. And they bounced over slightly, but if Alberta can put a rock in play, either they indicated perhaps even frozen, or if they come up a little short, that also will work for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that little run back that you mentioned earlier, Danielle, is not really there. I mean, they can punk second shot out of the way, but it's not terribly helpful to them.
And that's the unfortunate part about just nicking the guard. Took away that option.
Yeah, that run back's even harder now because the rock's mostly covered.
Puppy. Yep. Just carve it in. Easy. Carve it in. Easy. Carve it in.
Again, aggressive Sean would be going right on top of that red rock. Right about there. That That would be Sean's preferred rock placement.
Yeah. Same shot.
And even that slide over curl really worked to their advantage.
I don't see anything else. Yeah. Gotta split them up a bit. This is the same ice. It should be close. Back.
Allison Umla, her second rock.
Almost board. Lauren.
More weight thrown on this rock than her previous.
Hard, Lauren. You gotta go.
It'll curl up and get a piece of top red.
Oh, fuck.
Rearrange the angles. But unfortunately, they didn't get much out of that.
No opportunity now for Alberta to really put some pressure on.
Alberta planning on putting one up in the top 8. Want to make sure this doesn't slip behind T. Little panic, but it ends up in a decent spot. There is a double for Nova Scotia. It's hard not to leave them anything, but even after this double by Nova Scotia, Alberta will still be sitting 2.
Yeah, there's not much more Nova Scotia can do. They're in a little bit of trouble.
And they can kick it out. So Alberta is only sitting 2.
That helps a little bit. That rock's now usable. It's in a good spot to be able to tap back. Alberta, be careful not to play around with that one. Some coaching advice that I heard long ago is make sure you don't make the opponent's shot for them. So Alberta going to be careful they don't muck around with that yellow rock.
One more.
This is Kaylee Raniset's first rock in at 9.
3!
Hey, are you in? Just go. Are you in? Okay, one. Overdog.
Cool.
Overdog.
We are over.
Off. Hey, that's okay. That's not bad.
Okay.
Sit. Okay.
That sits just in time to fully guard the Nova Scotian stone.
Okay. There.
So something we talked
What do you
about
think about
earlier, I
playing
think
half
you and
on
Danielle
that?
talked about
how
placement
much
of
weight?
guards.
Pat?
On really
Yeah.
swingy ice like
I
this,
like
it's
it.
not good
You can
enough
go left if you like.
to
No, I think
cover
that's good.
to cover a stone
Okay, just a
necessarily.
hair off nose. You got it.
You've really got to manage the path, the access from a path point of view. I think if pushed, Nova Scotia could come around that long guard and tap that yellow one onto the red one. So I think that Alberta guard might be a little long.
Nova Scotia looking to play the tap. And their yellow rock. Big scrub out of the hand. And this will be all over the guard.
Not bad.
Yeah, the unfortunate part of that is
I think you gotta take it away.
Were you able to just guard it?
unfortunate part of it.
I think you give them too many opportunities to
Love
guard
it.
it.
Just cross the nose here. Can we get the double?
Oh, I don't like that. I don't know if I like that.
Then that's wide open.
Yeah, I know. Isn't it wide open if you play this too? Okay, you got it, Kaylee.
Just hit and roll.
So a tricky hit and roll for Team Alberta. Low weight, needs to roll towards center, avoid the jam at the back.
Clean.
Close?
Yep. Whoa.
Danielle, for me, this shot call just screams confidence. That's a tough shot to call and execute. Didn't quite work out for them, but just calling that shot just screams. You know, I feel good about the game right now.
It really does, and you saw the sweep to curl at the end there where they really overcooked it. They would have liked to have left their shooter in front of the Red Rock, because now you hear Nova Scotia talking about playing a hit and roll.
You like the double, or we could play like a bump here. Yeah, that's not bad. We just don't make sure if we do that we get a good roll. Yeah, I just think it's hard to get a good roll. Yeah, okay. Do you like that one? 4. Okay, 9.
There is no easy shot here for Nova Scotia. I am surprised at the weight they're calling here.
9.
Looks like they're playing the double. They could have played the lightweight hit and roll in behind. Both are tricky shots, but I think they would have got more out of the hit and roll. We talked about them needing that momentum in their favor, really get that one shot to get them back in the game. And I think if they did play the hit and roll, they could have it. Now, if she makes the double, they will be sitting shot. Taylor Steven with her first in N9.
I don't think they'll be shot if they make the double.
Close.
Oh, yes.
They will be shot. Alberta is sitting second. Nova Scotia third, Alberta fourth.
Can we ever do that?
For some reason, I was thinking about the shooter.
Okay. Or is that easier?
Brain cramp.
What are you doing? Thin corner! There? Well, more than that.
That's okay, though. Do you like that?
Is that for 1 or 2?
Because this is second shot, so if we can get rid of that, we'll sit 2.
Okay, like that.
Hey. 11? Yeah, I like 11. Okay.
I like where they came to the conclusion of that they're playing this to potentially sit 2. If they made a play on the red to the yellow, they would only be sitting 1 at the end of it.
Stay really close.
So it is a tricky shot. There is a guard mostly guarding the rock, but it is a very high guard.
Yeah, this is a tricky shot, for sure.
I'd argue the toughest rock to navigate is that the red rock frozen on top of it. And here we go, Claire Booth. Her first rock in N9.
Yep. Yes! Whoa! Never!
Hard railing.
Hard curling!
Hard railing.
Hard piece!
A bit of an early sweep there, held the line. So it'll be Nova Scotia still sitting 1. This end has turned around with Taylor's double.
Top 8's fine too. Yeah. You got it.
Now Nova Scotia can put the pressure on Alberta with the draw around. To sit 2 here, ideally in the top 4 to cut down the scoring area for Alberta. And top 8 is fine in this case as well.
Yeah, in a spot where there's no double off the rock that they just punked over. If they ever put it back button, then there would be a natural double there for 2. So.
Taylor Stevens in her last rock in N9.
Well then. Whoa.
Top 8!
Top 8's okay. Top 8's okay. Whoa.
We're not
Make
heavy.
sure. Fight the 4. Hard. All the way. As far as you can. Hard. Go.
And that will come up short, so
What happened to that?
there is a double here for 3 for Team Alberta. All they really need to do is make contact with the yellow rock in the side forefoot and just touch the yellow on the side 12, and they can pick up their 3. Don't have to move it far.
Want to make sure you get 2 here, though. You don't want to ever chap off the top one and roll away.
It was still looking good until the hog line.
Here we go with the last rock, N9. Alberta with the chance to score a big 3-ender. Here with Claire Booth's last rock.
Yep. Yep. Hard of the week.
This one's cutting, but
Really hard.
That's fine.
gets that deuce, that important deuce. Doesn't flirt too much with the missing for the 3. So.
And that will be Alberta with a 6-5 lead over Team Nova Scotia, and we will be back in just a few moments with the 10th end. Welcome back to the 2022 New Holland Canadian Junior Women's Semifinal. In our feature matchup, we have Team Alberta with a 6-5 lead over Team Nova Scotia. Nova Scotia with the hammer here in 10. We also have 3 other semifinals on the ice. 2 that just shook. So it'll be Ontario with going directly to the final with their 10-5 win over Northern Ontario. On the men's side, it is also Ontario who will be in the final with their 8-4 win over Saskatchewan. We have a big battle on sheet A, all tied up at 4 apiece, Alberta and Manitoba. They're playing N10. Our feature sheet, we'll be battling to see which team will be playing Ontario in this afternoon's final.
Switch if you can.
Alberta put in that one right on the button, right. Their first one right on the button. Idea being, I'm sure their goal for the end is to force, go to an extra, and take it with hammer. Nova Scotia, though, not having any of that. They're going to throw up a corner guard and try and generate a deuce and win it right here.
Give you a bit less here.
Good.
Low scoring game.
Well done.
Deuces, not much more than deuces. Well, no more than deuces in any given end, so
No, just let it come off. Just let it
strap
come
in,
off.
folks.
Whoa.
This will be a good end.
Let it come off.
It's got to curl a bit too.
Let it come off. No. No. That's good. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Okay, that's good.
And it will sit in time.
You like there? Yeah. Got it.
So that yellow guard is fairly high, just over the hog line. So for Team Nova Scotia, they really need to keep this into the top of the house, just in the 12-foot.
Line's good.
Top G.
Got room right now.
Top 4.
Top 4.
Okay. Top 4.
Allison, go. Allison. Allison.
You're in.
Hard, you gotta put it over. Hard. Keep going. Okay, whoa. Yeah, make sure you're in.
And that's a beautiful shot right behind the guard.
Yeah, I like that it's high because it, again, we talked a bunch of times about the distance that the guard, the effective distance of the guard, and that one's high enough that the guard, it's getting in the way.
Team Alberta looking to throw a second guard. Just over will work.
2, 3. No. Just
Just
five.
two.
Just the one. Just the one.
Whoa. 2, 3.
Gotta sit. No, gotta sit.
So I said earlier that possibly Alberta would be looking to force. This is a bit of a switch of gears. Double center. Maybe they're saying enough of that. Let's just end this thing in 10.
Well, really here you have to play it as if you're stealing it, and steal is great, and if you don't, you usually end up with a force. And as you can see here now, Nova Scotia needing to clear out the guards. They're electing to play the out turn so that they don't jam back onto their own in the house.
Good.
This one, I think she just set it out a little bit, and it drifted a little bit off the center line. But does the job.
And they avoid touching their own in the house as well. Team Alberta looking to replace that guard. They'd like to see it
Her less of
a
anything.
little higher.
You got it.
Create more separation between the guard that's just off the rings.
Good.
We've
You're
got
right. Kaylee's drop. You're close.
One.
You're close. Kaylee, finish if you can.
2.
Take it. Just leave separation. Well done.
Oh.
No. Can't go. Sit. Good.
And that will sit in time. Almost in the same spot.
Do you like that at all?
Yeah, the intern tap is there.
If we play it and we hit the guard, fine.
I have like a third of the back one.
What do you see from there? The peel or that? I don't mind playing it. This? Yeah. Okay, half. Okay.
The issue with this shot is even if they make this, they're leaving the two centers up there, and the Alberta team could draw back in there.
And put it back in even a better spot.
Yeah, a little bit higher.
Just tap. Clean. No.
Eventually, though, if you're Nova Scotia, this rock has to go away. So
Hard.
curling really hard right now.
This is going to be on the top one.
Big roll, Kate. Big roll. Big roll. Hard. You gotta go. You gotta go. Hard. All the way.
Okay.
That's not bad.
Now, the fortunate thing about where that landed is that it's a second corner guard and arguably a better one because it's tighter.
I don't mind just guarding, but
Yeah.
okay.
I'll just give you
Yeah,
a
the
touch last time.
unfortunate part is that intern hit that they just tried to
Yeah,
play
like a little
is
extra
that
even
much
though-
harder.
Okay. Yeah. You got
Again,
it, Kaylee.
deceptively big hole there, but because of the amount of curl, you have to flirt with that yellow one that was just thrown, and then manage that curve through the hole.
1, 2.
Little line.
Alberta continuing to guard for their lives here.
Deep one.
Kate.
Pull right
Kate.
off. 2.
Whoa.
2. Right off. Coming off.
Kate.
Go, Kate.
Yeah, you gotta finish
Gotta
it.
go. Gotta finish.
Kate, easy. You're good. You're
Two.
good. You're good. Whoa.
Sit.
Good.
Let's get Kate.
I'll stop and guard their rock sitting on the button. So now it'll be a double peel for Team Nova Scotia. They may, if they get lucky, catch the red in the back.
Really good patience again, waiting for the ice to do its thing before they try to do anything with it. Some heat coming down here at this rock. Again, drifting just a bit out with that weight.
Yep. Hard on that yellow.
Oh, wow. Do that again.
Got a little lucky on that shot, but it worked out very nicely for Nova Scotia. As you can see, right off and caught that back one.
Yeah, that one did drift out of her hand a little bit. They didn't plan to play that quite so thin on the top red one, but You know,
Pro
sometimes-
sides miss, right?
Yeah, I mean, nobody's going to win this thing without getting a couple of breaks. That never happens, and so, you know, you got to be good to be lucky. So.
So Alberta would like to bury this one top four right behind their center line guard.
Switch if you can.
Gotta go.
Gotta switch. Gotta switch.
Gotta go.
You're wide open. Gotta go.
Just tight.
Hard. You gotta be in, guys. You gotta go. Hard. Hard. All the way, all the way, all the way. Gotta go.
Looks like
Go,
they're
go,
going to
go,
get
go, go, go,
caught
go,
in
go.
the frost and will sit shot, but it is wide open.
Both teams not with a ton of time.
Okay.
Nova Scotia has 2 minutes and 7 seconds left. Alberta 2 minutes and 8 seconds. There are timeouts in there, so they should be okay. But not a ton of time.
Clean.
Clean.
Clean. Yep.
Yep.
Whoa.
Oh, clean.
Whoa. Whoa. Good, Lauren.
Good there, Lauren. Claire, do you want to call the time?
Sure.
I'm just gonna call it.
So timeout called by Team Alberta. They have 2 left, and with 2 stones left, good way to stop the clock. So we'll see Alberta coach Derek Cooney make his way down to the far end. And we'll listen into their conversation.
I think just by the head.
Yeah.
So the only thing I see is you either have to go for it and steal, or you double off the yellow. It looks like half rock.
Okay.
Half tail
Yeah.
Even if I just get the one
and
for
roll,
now.
and roll in.
Roll
Yeah.
in. Okay. 9. Yeah. 9. I think.
Yeah, I like mine.
So really like this call, sending the red into the yellow. Talked about just rolling in. I don't think that's necessarily a call. You almost want to play it on the thinner side, if
Okay,
anything.
Claire. You got it.
Yeah.
I mean, you manage it really well, you might get both yellows, right?
Yeah.
That's the goal for Team Alberta right here.
Comes a point when you just have to take the risk.
Lots of time.
Alberta needs to make something happen here.
Claire Booth with her first in at 10. Big shot.
Look up.
Whoa! Right up! Right up!
Oh, it's a beauty. What a peach of a shot. That's my phrase,
Very
peach.
nice.
That's a beautiful shot. Well managed, well called.
And now that leaves Alberta sitting 2. And the crowd goes wild.
Crowd bigger than it was when we started this game, so.
And we have the last rock coming up on sheet A, but let's take another look at that beauty of a shot for Alberta to sit 2. So right now on sheet A, all tied up. This is last rock for Manitoba. It's currently Alberta sitting side button for shots. So this is a draw to the pin
4:15.
for Team Manitoba for the win and a trip to the final to play Team Ontario. Now in our feature game, Team Nova Scotia, Taylor Stevens needing a draw in behind the red in the top 12.
And there could be some noise from the boys' game as soon as this ends.
Whoa! Back 4. Allison's rock.
The boys in Manitoba are backing right off of it.
Hard. Hard, bring it back, guys. Hard, keep it going.
And it is going to go deep, and Alberta will steal the win. So it will be an Ontario-Alberta final on the men's side.
That's just a great shot there by Taylor. Just a clutch draw, just deep enough. A little bit of it's poking out. Claire has a little piece, the right weight. She can get that out of there.
They called a timeout, but that was just to stop the clock and take a moment. As you can probably hear, the Alberta crowd is going wild.
But that's pretty close. They're killing.
Do you want to just corner freeze to it if we tap it a little? I think that might be the shot.
And as mentioned, there's the noise. It's making it hard just for the Alberta girls to call the shot even. But that's, you know, it's an Alberta cheer for the Alberta men, so I don't know that the girls are going to be too upset about that.
I think we just got to freeze to it. If I tap it a little, that's good.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
We're on time, so
Yeah,
you got lots of time.
So it was a little chaotic as they were trying to ignore the crowd and make sure their time clock had stopped properly. They really just needed a few more minutes. They've got lots of time on the clock. It's still stopped. They've got a minute 25.
Electing to freeze to this one. Not feeling that they can pick it out of there.
Back four, back eight.
Hard line.
Back four.
Hard line.
Back eight. Only line. Wait, really close.
Gotta go.
Hard roll, go, go, go.
Just
Okay.
didn't quite make it. That one just overcurled.
So that means that Nova Scotia will have a chance to win it right here
Just like this much
with
ice.
a nose hit.
Timeout, GP.
I like 10-5 actually. Little more ice. 10-5.
Calling a timeout to stop their clock. So they'll have plenty of time. Sell in the hack.
10-5.
Let's make it.
Stick around for 2, and it will be a trip to the final for Taylor Stevens and her team from the Halifax Curling Club.
Queen.
Oh.
Queen. Whoa.
Curl.
Go, Kate.
Go, Keith.
Go, Kate.
Oh boy, needs to stick here. Looks pretty good though.
And she will stick it for the deuce and the win. So it will be Nova Scotia taking on Ontario in the women's final for the championship. And on the men's side, we'll have your feature matchup back on at 2:30 with Ontario taking on Alberta for the men's title. So on behalf of myself, Danielle Inglis, my co-host, Sean Turek, and our entire crew, we will see you soon in Stratford